Virtually everything on Earth vibrates. Some common science facts are that the planet itself vibrates. All matter consists of atomic material: molecules, atoms, electrons, protons, and subatomic particles. Each atom consists of a nucleus surrounded by electrons, revolving at a speed of 600 miles per second. Why are we revisiting it? Because we know that it is an accepted construct of physics, that motion creates frequency, and frequency creates sound. The fact that sound waves are everywhere is an important point of reference in building conscious sound awareness, and to help you reawaken awareness of sound and the role it can play in your life. Add the phenomenon of resonance. Resonance can be defined as the frequency at which an object most naturally vibrates. For example, a tuning fork that is tuned to 440 Hz cycles per second will, when physically struck, vibrate at 440 Hz. This frequency is known as its resonant frequency. When two identical tuning forks are manufactured to vibrate at 440 Hz, an interesting example of resonance occurs. If you strike one of these forks to produce the sound, the second one, which has not been physically struck, it will spontaneously vibrate or sing along with the first tuning fork. It acts as if it too were physically struck, and it was by sound waves from the first tuning fork which made the second one too vibrate too. If a fork is tuned to 100 Hz is struck nearby, however, the 440 Hz fork will not respond. Thus, when two or more objects have similar vibratory characteristics, this allows them to resonate at the same frequency. They form a resonant system. Whatever we hear on a regular basis, everything has sound. It has a vibration all its own. The velocity or frequency of the movement determines the specific sound. While we hear the sound of a fan moving air, we cannot hear the sound of an electron. The speed of an electron is so fast that it creates a tone outside our human range of hearing. Nonetheless, the sound is there. The sound can heal us with its soothing properties. Sound-based therapy has a recognized healing role in conditions such as dementia and autism. There are so many centers around the world that cure people using sound. As for an ambient noise, we become accustomed to it, and most of us do not pay attention to it. It wouldn't be wrong saying that everybody is a musical string, and health can be defined as a set of musical strings in complete harmony. Sound-based therapy is totally different and goes beyond hearing, beyond auditory processing, and beyond music. It utilizes the energy of the person and supports change with the person's natural form and function by repatterning this energy. It is an important factor in order to resolve multiple health-related problems. And this great system of sound, based on therapy, revolves around three key points. 1. There are 5 laws which connect the voice, the ear, and the brain. To be precise, the voice produces what the ear hears, and the ear emits same stressed frequencies as the voice. If one is modified, the other changes and the brain sends the correct response to the body. These laws are well known and are called the Tomatis effect and the Davis addendum to the Tomatis effect. 2. Every cell in the body we have emits and takes its sound frequencies, thereby portraying the body as one's signature symphony of sound. If there's an out-of-tune frequency, the instruments, cells of the body, are not supporting the symphony, and the music is discordant. The out-of-tune frequencies are identified. The sound is introduced to the body, and the brain then introduces the correct frequency to the cell to tune it up. 3. The ear is viewed as the body's global sensory processor, and not just a hearing mechanism. As all of the body's senses are stimulated either directly or indirectly through the ear, sound vibration is also processed through bone response, cell response, the nervous system, the circulatory system, and the soft tissue network of the body. The body as a whole is considered a vibrational frequency entity. We know that resonance is a natural ability. It happens to substances such as metal, wood, air, and even living flesh and bone vibrate to a frequency imposed from another source. This aspect of resonance is known as sympathetic vibration. Everything has its resonant frequency. You can think of it as a resident or home frequency, and we humans are no exception. That is why certain colors feel good to us, and why we're attracted to certain instruments and sounds. The color or sounds from within our resonant frequency range and can make us vibrate from across the room. Our familiarity with their frequency affects our mood. It can be said that whatever clicks us, we get attracted towards it. The concept of sympathetic vibration is more like the way an outside vibration can sympathetically vibrate another vibration. It holds true with people too. When you're around someone with a vibrational rate similar to your own, you feel comfortable and familiar. Likewise, you instinctively know when someone's energy field is totally different from yours. The common term can be used as vibes for it, but actually, it's the energy we receive. Similarly, when it comes to music and sound, finding sources that resonate positively is a good and healthy thing. If you passively allow yourself to be surrounded by sounds that do not resonate well with you, however, you stand a good chance of creating nervous system friction, a loop of internal interference. Continued exposure over a long or sometimes even a short period can cause you to simply fall out of tune, out of harmony with your body's inherent wisdom state. The phenomenon of sympathetic vibration is contingent not on volume, but on the pitch. This means that even quiet home or office sounds, for example, the hum of a computer, fluorescent lights, a refrigerator, or a TV, may be resonating with you. If you feel, you will observe that we are constantly being vibrated on a cellular level by heard and unheard sound frequencies, electromagnetic fields of all kinds, microwave, electricity, radar, jet planes, jackhammers, horns, sirens, and loud sounds of many kinds, including music. The increase in stress-related disease in modern society is of little wonder. Many things contribute to stress, which might be defined as an overamping of the nervous system. A jagged nervous system is a stressed nervous system. The food we eat, the people we're around, and the thoughts we think have a proven effect on our well-being. The principle of resonance holds true with people, as well as tuning forks and violins. When we find ourselves feeling good around somebody, we actually use the phrase good vibes, as shared earlier. Sharing both metaphorical and real sensitivities, we feel good because someone with a similar frequency feels familiar. Familiarity brings a sense of safety and security. These comfortable feelings allow one to be natural and unguarded. The way we actually resonate with the other person is a close feeling, be it on a mental, physical, or emotional level. However, if people resonate in a way that offends or disturbs our resonant frequency rate, we move away from them because we do not want to be affected by the vibrations they emit. Resonance is the single most important concept to understand if you are to grasp the constructive or deconstructive role of sound in your life. Entrainment, sympathetic vibration, resonant frequencies, and resonant systems all fall under the rubric of resonance. These are closely packed. The brain has so many things to do. Estimates are that the human brain contains 50 to 100 billion neurons that pass signals to each other via 1,000 trillion synaptic connections. Even with this mind-boggling biological capacity, an ecological process is taking place. The brain looks to use its resources wisely. Consider the brain as a pattern-seeking machine. Give it a recognizable pattern, and it's happy. As soon as the brain can decipher the pattern, it shifts its active attention to that occurrence to passive awareness and moves on to the next thing, finds the pattern, and moves on again a gazillion times a day. Once an image, sound source, smell, taste, or touch is understood, that sensory data is still on the screen, but is now a passive background event. The electrochemical activity of the brain produces electromagnetic waveforms known as brain waves. These waveforms can be objectively measured with sensitive equipment such as an electroencephalograph, or EEG, which is why, as long as you're alive, these continuous electrical waves circulate throughout your brain. As with cessation of the heartbeat, the lack of brainwave activity is a sign of death. At any given time, the brain is not functioning in just one level of brainwave activity. It is the combination of these brainwave states that determines the focus of our activities. According to Anna Wise, an internationally respected brainwave feedback expert, each state that you experience entails a symphony of brainwaves, with each frequency playing its own characteristic part. Out of these symphonies come the art of Picasso, the dance of Martha Graham, the architecture of Frank Lloyd Wright, and the theories of Einstein. The phenomenon known as binaural beats was discovered by the German researcher H.W. Dove in 1839. He found that binaural beating, an actual wah-wah effect similar to vibrato, took place when separate frequencies were introduced into each ear. For example, a tone of 100 Hz in the right ear and a tone of 108 Hz in the left ear. The brain strives to bridge the gap by creating a third tone that is the actual difference between the two in this example, 8 Hz. For the brain to decipher the difference between two tones, the superior olivary nuclei in the brainstem create the electrical signal of measurement. The byproduct of this response is known as the whole brain synchrony, which is a natural brain state that occurs occasionally and momentarily throughout the day. At these times of bilateral hemispheric synchronization, coherent brain power is just its height. According to speech-language pathologist Suzanne Evans Morris, where there is synchronization in brain frequencies in the same area of both hemispheres, it is much easier for information transfer to occur on the two sides of the brain, possibly as the result of entrainment itself. This simply makes us more efficient and able to deal with information in an easier way. The cerebral hemispheres, commonly referred to as the right and left brain, are like two separate data processing modules. They are each complex, cognitive systems that process information both independently and in parallel. Research indicates that when the two frontal lobes of the brain are synchronized, the power of the brain is significantly increased. By using certain frequencies, one can produce a coherent and unique brainwave state. 16 binaural beat pioneer Robert Monroe called this state hemispheric synchronization, or hemisync for short. In addition to whole brainstem synchronization, an entrainment effect can also take place once the third difference tone is created. Brainwaves will speed up or slow down to match the speed of the binaural beast. BBFs become a method for sonic brainwave entrainment. Sound researcher Michael Hutchinson states, when precisely controlled tones are combined in the brain, the olivary nucleus begins to become entrained or resonate sympathetically to this phantom binaural beat, like a crystal goblet vibrating in response to a pure tone. As the olivary nucleus becomes entrained, it sends signals upward into the cerebral cortex that mix with the existing patterns of brainwave activity, there to produce noticeable state changes. Vibroacoustics is an innovative technology in which music and sound vibrations are felt and sometimes heard, firmly based on the principle of resonance and entrainment. Vibroacoustics creates change through one vibration altering another. Dr. Drew Pearson, a psychologist with electrical engineering experience, notes that the purpose of vibroacoustics is to create a tactile soma integration. He says the body holds emotional events in cellular memory. The use of vibration from 4.5 to 1800 Hz, primarily 8 to 180 Hz, has an effect on disengaging those resonant patterns that seem to run in loops and fixate themselves in the body. Vibroacoustics change the bioelectrical signature of the emotional imprint. According to Pearson, the low sounds travel up from the vagus nerve to the reticular activating system, touching all internal organs along the way. This is the reverse of how sound through the ear travels through the vagus nerve to the anus. The vagus nerve is a very important conduit of sound waves, regardless of the direction. While Pearson emphasizes the power of bone conduction, others consider skin absorption of sound equally important. Whole-body acoustic stimulation has been studied by Dr. Patrick Flanagan for more than 30 years. He believes that the human skin is a powerful sense organ. Our skin is not just a covering. It is an enormously sensitive organ with hundreds of thousands of receptors for temperature and vibro-tactical input. Every organ of perception develops ontologically and phylogenetically out of the skin. In the embryo, skin folds and then forms our eyes and ears. Our skin may contain the latent capacity to perceive light and sound. I think that by stimulating the skin with energy in the right way, you can potentially depolarize the brain and charge it with energy. That's all we have for you today. Don't forget to give us a like and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more interesting videos like this. Thank you for watching. Till next time.